Bucks, go Bucks. Go Bucks, go Bucks. Bucks, go Bucks. First and goal, gotta tough it out, get in the end zone and call a hot route. O-line a beat, right down the street, and have Humphreys run right underneath. You know it's Bucks ball, we got the hardest D. Bring the pressure to the QB, you know it's routine, we got hard grease. Welcome to Tampa with the return. Go Bucks, go Bucks. Reppin' for my team. Go Bucks, go Bucks. You know we want the ring. Go Bucks, go Bucks. Welcome to the Bay. Go Bucks, go Bucks. Tune in with Buccaneer Blake. Bucks back, we can run the toss. Mike Evans looking like Randy Moss. And Jameis making play on the defense. You can't stop Levante. On my boy McCoy, who you can't avoid. At the Raymond James, you about to feel the pain. If you a Bucks fan, make a lot of noise. If you a Bucks fan, make a lot of noise. Go Bucks.
Let's get this going. So welcome back to the show, everybody. Buck and Blake Sports with your host, Mr. Buccaneer Blake himself. Now, as always, just to start the introduction off, give shout outs to Jeffrey Bowen, Preval Productions, Nuke Boy, Robo Boy, Joker Shadow. If you missed today's show, please go check it out at www.bucnblakesports.com. Check it in there, comment, donate, show some love on the page. I put a lot of hard work into it. It's just a work in progress. Trying to convey my thoughts to you guys, much like people do on sports shows all day long. They get paid to talk about sports, so I'm trying to do too. I'm doing something I like to do. But anyway, we're gonna go over Jameis Winston and this workout with Adrian Peterson. We're gonna go over this Miami cornerback, Corn Elder. We're gonna go over Doug Martin, Richard Sherman, and Josh Gordon. Like I said, this is the off season. There's not a lot going on. It pretty much is over and over and over of, who should we draft? Oh, blah, blah, blah. Mock draft 7.0, 17-13. Blase, blase. What's up, Dan? So let's go into Jameis Winston with that workout with Adrian Peterson. It would be nice to take Peterson and work in with Doug Martin. I don't know, like Charles Sims and all the other guys, Jacquez Roddick. I don't know. It's a crowded backfield, but it'll be interesting. As long as we can get a successful run game going, that should do well. I know a lot of people want, Jameis Winston to reunite with Davin Cook. There's no rush. If Adrian Peterson wants to come at a decent price, it'd be nice to have him here to get some type of run game going, because Jameis Winston threw for $4,000 again. And look how Jameis Winston looks throw for 4,000 yards again, with absolutely zero help in the run game. And then he did that and throwing the one receiver and a tight end nobody knows anything about. He did a lot with less. Much like Mariota had a lot more and did less. But injuries, whatever, that's on him. He got to keep himself on the field. I already called that from the beginning. Mariota is Jake Locker 2.0. Look at the injuries have already started. 2 seasons back-to-back injuries. Go figure. Anyway, Jameis Winston working out with Adrian Peterson. Hopefully he can work something out. I'd like to see AP here. I know one of my friends, Ramon, would love to see that. He's a huge Adrian Peterson fan. Probably get some photos and stuff of him, and you get some insight. Let's go over Miami cornerback Corn Elder. Corn Elder, I learned about him when UNC, my Tar Heels, played the Hurricanes, and Corn Elder was sought to be a pretty good corner, and he seems to be. He's another undersized corner, another 5'10", 5'11", 189 pounds. Didn't run blazing 40 time, around 4 or 5, but much when you're a smaller corner, teams expect you to be faster, like around 4'4", 4'3", if you're going to be a smaller corner, versus a guy who's 6'2", which would have more stiff hips. And if you're 5'11", you should have more nimble hips as well. 5'11", you should have more nimble hips. But whatever. It is what it is. Like, I knew it was going to happen eventually. We were going to go get probably another corner. It's not set in stone. I think it's really about where the draft falls. And if the opportunity is there and it helps to build the team better. Like I said, if you do, we're gonna need one because Brent Grimes is not gonna be around forever. He played very well last season. Thank you for coming. And I hope it continues for the remainder of his contract this next season. I think it was a 2-year contract. So let's move on to the Doug Martin issue. Now, the Bucks are not really in a rush to do anything with Doug Martin. Well, why do you say that? I say that because with the 4-game suspension, you don't have to worry about paying him. Remember the deadline we were talking about if Doug Martin's not guaranteed anything because he took that suspension. We're not forced to do anything up until week 4 because of his suspension now. So Doug Martin can come out and kind of prove to the world that he can still do it, and he rehab through the preseason games, as he will be allowed to play through the preseason games, and hopefully he can make something happen, with those guys. And we keep them around. I really don't want to keep switching out players, especially when we already got homegrown players. I mean, Davin Cook, he played with Winston. Everybody wants to reunite, Florida State Magic. I do think I don't want something that's like, oh, that looks nice. I just want things that'll work for this team. I want what's best for the team. There's a lot of things that I want, but if it's something we need, like if we needed to go after offensive line, then by all means, then go after offensive line. It's an ugly pick, but so be it. It helps down the road. But so we went and got an offensive line with Donovan Smith and Ali Marpet, and you need it. It pays different. You're like, oh yeah, I'm glad we got those picks. Now look at us. We got decent old lines. J.R. Sweezy's coming back. Damar Dotson's still around. You're gonna have to get another tackle unless Kevin Panfield can move out there. Like, we got a lot of versatility on the line. We haven't had that in a while. That's probably around shit when Mike Glennon was around starting. We had a terrible old line, and he's not a guy who's much mobile like Jameis Winston. But yeah, this Doug Martin's gonna have to show in preseason. Let's go to the next topic. Sherman. Richard Sherman is on the trading block. I thought I'd never see that, but eventually it'll happen. It's a business. My buddy, ex-teammate with Jack Britt Buccaneers, Brandon G. He was drafted by the Cincinnati Bengals around that Aaron Curry draft. What was that, 2006? Somewhere around there. He said himself, it's just a business. It's a business. There's no loyalty. If you ain't seen it with LT crying up there, they let him go. Went to the Jets, then went to the AFC Championship game. They always try to find something to replace you. You're not forever. Everything is temporary. Everything is not guaranteed. And Sherman was one of I really enjoyed Richard Sherman. I really enjoyed his point of view on things. He's a very intelligent man. I was kind of upset, though, when the world kind of came down on him, calling him a thug. I've never heard the man ever curse one time. Talking trash is not a form of being a thug. I've seen celebrities and other athletes do much worse things than he's ever done. And I don't know, it's just the world. The world likes to judge people, but yet when they're imperfect themselves, and it's just I don't know. You want to come at somebody who has way higher credentials than somebody who's judging them. I don't know. I guess it's just the world. It's the fishbowl that we live in, I guess. I guess it just annoys me that it's the things that people come up with, the hatred that people come up with. And I've distanced myself from a lot of people I know that all they have is negative things to say all the time. You ever got around a person that they just say negative things all the time? It's like literally that's the first thing that come at their mouth. You come with something positive, somebody doesn't say something to you like, oh man, that's a good idea. You need help with that? I said, no, it's interesting. Like what I'm doing is people like, oh, what are you doing wasting your time with that? Blase, blase. Why don't you encourage me to try and do something that I like to do? I enjoy doing this. It really bothered me to sit up there and watch other people get paid to do the same exact thing. And I have a lot of resources and I have a lot of knowledge in the stuff that I'm talking about. And if I'm wrong about something, I'll say I was wrong. So be it. No, I like to tend that I think that I know a little lot, but I don't. I've learned over the years that you learn a lot of things through self-experience and learn a lot of things from other people. Much like my whole youth, I like to hang around older people to listen to the insight that the things that they would tell me. Much like I don't know, my father and him friends. It's much why I didn't have any children, because I seen the way what happens, with people that have kids, and I seen through my own life and through other people the effects that it happens. But there we are rambling and just talking about the negativity of things. But just that's the kind of light that happened with Richard Sherman. He got called a lot of he's a drug addict and stuff like that. And so I don't know. That's why I kind of liked him, because he wasn't afraid to say his opinion on stuff, but he was respectful about it. And he's a very educated man. And just because you say something that somebody doesn't agree with, they don't like, then all of a sudden they're a bad person and all that. And much like the whole Trump thing, being a racist. I don't know. There's a lot of, does have a lot of black friends. But I really don't know. I don't know what this man is like when nobody else is watching. You are who you are when nobody's around. Much like the Clippers owner, Magic Johnson, really thought he was kind of heartbroken. Really thought they were friends. And that's how he felt about blacks. I mean, that's how he felt. I guess when nobody else was around, but it's the nutshell. What's what we live in. People will tell you that, behind closed doors and how they really feel. That's on them. My theory has always been, you can always find out how somebody really feels about you till you date their relative, and you start to find out how they really feel. I mean, that's true. You don't really find out till you try to do that. Let's move on. Josh Gordon. Football players have to go to college. They have an education, sometimes no common sense. You can say that with a lot of people. The brain is either taught. I looked into that. It's taught to be problematic, or it's either taught to figure out things that are in front of your face, or your brain tries to figure out problems instead of just figuring out the things that are given. I said, Josh Gordon is expected to return to the Browns. The Browns are supporting him. The Browns want to bring him back. I don't know, but Josh Gordon seemed to enjoy doing his car selling cars. I don't know if he still can't put down the drugs. I don't know. Josh Gordon's an exceptional player, one of Robert Griffin's receivers at Baylor. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about. I'll say it. I'm a black man, about black athletes. I don't understand. Sometimes, like, you're given opportunities that millions would love to have, and you just, want to piss it all away. You don't want to take advantage of the opportunities that are given. You think everything is just supposed to be handed to you, and everything's taken for granted, with not even just your job, I mean just your life period, and it's come as, like, I don't know, almost like a norm where we gravitate to negative things instead. I heard from a wise man, we like to tend to reflect and instead of project. We reflect a lot. We reflect on everything. It's the same thing with rap songs. You hear the same thing with selling drugs, selling dope, going to jail. But where's the message at to say, okay, we need to go here. This is how you get here. You don't want to stay here. You want to go here. So that's what I mean when I say, instead of reflect, instead of project where we need to be going. And I think a lot of people get lost in that because, the poison and the influence from music and stereotypes on television, TV shows, social media sites. I've never liked World Star Hip Hop. I have never liked it. And I'll call people out on it about how the site projects us in a negative limelight. And people will go, oh, I just enjoy watching it. Well, that's you're helping the cause, because eventually you think what you're watching is acceptable. You think it's a normal behavior. That's why I guess I'm calling out. You think it's normal behavior instead of realizing like, oh man, that's kind of horrible. Like, why are you doing that to other people? And then, but go out and harass white people, cops, and all this other stuff, and tell them that, you know, Black Lives Matter and all that stuff. It's just, I don't know, like, it's just, I guess I got off the whole topic of, and I didn't really get off topic with Josh Gordon coming back to the league. It was just based on, I just based this whole spiel I just went off of from him just not taking advantage of the opportunities that have been given him. And that's why I say I think it comes from a lot of that. And 79% of black athletes go broke. And I think we're forced to believe, I ain't gonna say forced, we choose to believe we have this expectations of living. When we have money, we throw it at strip clubs. We buy cars that aren't worth the value. And as soon as we drive off the lot, talk down about women, and you know, buy Gucci or Armani, things that the owners themselves don't even wear, but it's expected for us to buy. I guess because we're a target consumer, I guess. We just don't invest in ourselves. We just don't invest in, helping terrible neighborhoods like Flint, Michigan, and Chicago, and helping the single mother, teaching fathers to be in their kids' lives, and things like that. Like I said earlier, that the good deeds that you do can help somebody in the future. Like Warwick Dunn bought Deshaun Watson's mother a home, and now Deshaun Watson is going to be probably a first-round draft pick, or first day or second day draft pick. You helped influence somebody's life. There may be tons of others that you'll never hear the story, but you helped this young man have a future, and that's all you can do. If you helped 5 people and you influence one, that's a win. That's a win. Because if you didn't help any, 5 wouldn't have gotten anything. And I think we look at the totality of things instead of looking at what we're actually doing. We like to look at numbers. We like to, again, reflect on what we did instead of project where we're going. And I just think that everybody, including myself, need to help in any way possible you can. Black, white, Asian, whatever. Like I said, I've been very blessed to have grown up with a very diverse background. I've hung around all different races and everything. I never saw color until I got around an environment that saw color. And then you start to see things from both point of view. And sometimes I do get biased with some things, and sometimes I don't. I try to stay neutral. It's much like the news. Don't get caught up in what you watch on television. Don't get caught up in the story. You get half the story. You don't get the whole story. You get the juicy parts that they want to train your brain to think. And I think I have a lot of arguments with people. I think I turn a lot of people off because I don't want to be trained to think a certain way. Like you think things are acceptable. I just refuse to do it. I'll give you an example. I learned at a young age that the Pilgrims were full of crap to Thanksgiving. I learned at a young age why are always the Indians projected to be bad guys. You know, I thought about that at a young age. The Indians weren't the bad guys, but they were always projected to be just these indigenous people who wanted to kill these white men for no apparent reason. When the true matter was that they took the white man in, they took the Pilgrims in. I'm not going to use color. We just took the Pilgrims in and taught them how to eat and live on their land, and in return took land from them, killed them, and eradicated the true Americans. Like I said, I'm just giving an example of being trained to thought, being trained to think, and I just think outside the box why things are a certain way, as the TV trains you to believe a certain way or a certain thing. But that's all I have for today. Unless you guys got questions up there. Hey Brenda, hey Freddie. You guys probably need to watch this. Your boy went in on a lot of things. It's just, I don't know. I just watch TV and I watch media stuff, and I'm just curious, just of when actually we as people will have enough. When as we as people will want to do better. When will we actually do something to help the next gen or help the next man? You crazy, Dan. Smart aleck always. How does one think outside the TV box? Stop watching reality TV shows. That's poison. There ain't nothing real about that. I said, you guys know each other's lives. There ain't none of it like that. Again, what I said before, a false sense of thinking, false sense of how they want you to think something is supposed to be is what I'm getting at. Dan, you guys got anything on there? I can't. I have it live screen on the television. That's why I have it mirrored on the TV. That's why I keep glancing over to my left, your right. I'm going to try to scroll and see if you guys had any questions. Uh-oh, Angelos Williams. Cruz, yeah, they're always making noise. What's up, Fred? Haters gonna hate, trash talk, mental tricks, yes. They're talking about Richard Sherman. That's all he does. This is trash talking. You see good now. Oh. No, yeah, I'm a little bad. I'm still congested. I'm still taking Mucinex. Like I told you, the headaches was the worst part of it. There's excruciating pain that I've never really experienced like that before, but it's whew, whatever. All right, guys, I'm gonna stop rambling. Check it out, www.bucnblakesports.com. Go there, show some love, donate, whatever you seem fit. And well, this as we always do. You're the master of everything what you do in your life. What you do with it is entirely up to you. Y'all be safe and God bless. Yes, rambling man, Dan. Get out of here. Hey, what the? Oh.
And we still East Coast. Yeah. Whoa. You already know it's the point. This Snoop boy scaring niggas like a Ouija board. Seeing is believing, honestly, I can't see you boys. Best to debate, I roll up and blow my verses away. They wanna know how I do it, they've been lurking for days. Still haven't figured a nigga out. Smoking out on the couch with real niggas, man, I feel like a scout. Cause all I do is trap bitches, train them up for you niggas. They come back every day and say they done with you niggas. I talk a lot of shit, but mean it in the best way. I don't fuck with you niggas, I read you like an x-ray. I can see a lot of bitch in you from your display. Watch the nuke drop from above versus DK. The body like Miley Cyrus, no body's a zombie virus. Mind you, I'm just a pirate, smoking get high like pilots. Man, a couple grand, I bury them in the sand. Son of Saddam, I'm bombing on niggas like it's Iran. Swoosh, yeah. I feel like Nike gave me a deal. I'm on the road, just cruising like four wheels. I'm a flywheel made of indestructible steel. My power can't be controlled. I'm undertaking your soul. My chokehold sick like catching a cold. Got that medication, good weed, will redefine gravitation. OG, I take off with no hesitation. I'm stacking up while you hating. And most of women love me like fornication. I feel I'm real. I was on 22nd and late with the spill and some old. Sorry, cops had to go. 40 seconds later, niggas rolled. I said, you know, soft nose to my dome. I was sweating the cold. Damn. I lost all my shit. My girl said get a grip. I lost all my grip. No hooks, nigga, look, if you leave your shit I'ma take what you left, my 16s or this. It don't take much just to get your chick to strip, but that's another story. Had her on them blues, now I call her Dory. I'm on the corner with a 40 in a new category, it's new. Blow up the city and rebuild it. TV fitted, you know I killed it. Saw the house, the shit just got real and we